What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel, y'all. Okay, third time's the charm. Let me tell you how I recorded. The first time, an hour video. The second time, 45 minutes. And y'all, it never saved on my computer. It's okay. We're gonna get it out. The enemy trying me. He's trying me today, but we're gonna get it out. We're gonna get it out. Okay, so I'm telling y'all how I'm doing this case right now and how I just used a lie that they told to further trap them, which I'm going to eventually use this into a whole nother case, right? One thing you got to realize about God is God be in it for the long run. God be in it for the long run, y'all. Because when I tell you, and the thing about it is, I don't even mind the long run. It definitely teaches patience. It definitely teaches endurance, but it gets frustrating during the times when you're trying to just be shaped and molded or whatever. Anyway, let me tell y'all what happened. So I submitted this case last year. Now I'm gonna try to get straight to the point because I was giving y'all detail, but whatever. I'm not gonna give too much detail because you know how when you in the middle of something you don't want to spill the beans yet because you want this thing to happen first. So I'm not gonna tell y'all who the company is with, but I'm gonna give you the details as far as what happened so I can tell you how we get to me coming after them again. So I filed an arbitration against them last year. When I filed, I just jumped off the porch with it. I felt like this is where God wanted me. This is what he wanted me to do. And if I didn't jump off the porch at the time that I did, y'all, I wouldn't even have to take that leap because I'm the type of person who need everything. Like I need all my ducks in a row before I can take a step because I need to know everything. And when you're operating under God, you have to be able to surrender and not like surrender to the unknowing, but having the faith that that God is right there and he's carrying you. Because if I believe that God is omnipresent and all-knowing, then I would know that he already know how this outcome is going to be for me. Now, I don't know, but if I know God and I know God's word, then he said he don't have plans to hurt me. He has plans to prosper me. Not harm me, but prosper me. So if I know what I know about God, then I know what I know about what's going to happen. It's just a matter of, are you going to quit along the way or are you going to keep going? So with that being said, I said, let me jump off this porch because if I don't jump off now, Lord, you already know how I get down. I'm going to keep trying to research and get just everything. I had to make it perfect because that's just the type of person I was, but that's not what God was trying to show me. Do it and have faith that I'm with you. And so that's where we at now. And I got the faith. So I filed the case. We had our preliminary hearing, which is just setting our scheduling order for all of our deadlines. After that is discovery. Before we got to discovery, I wound up submitting a amended complaint because I knew what I submitted at first. I wasn't as confident. My amended complaint, I felt a little bit more confident. I already knew like a couple of the things. There's no precedence to it. So if it's just me trying to come after this as the first time, I'm not the first person, but if it's me trying to set the precedence, most people don't. Most arbitrators and judges are not going to do that. However, when it get to the point where the consumer is the one that is winning when it comes to what I'm talking about, these cases get sealed or they get settled out of not trying to be fully exposed to the masses, where people can then, again, where the precedents can start or can be set, and then people can come after them for this. Because then when I say the company finna be wiped out, I'll further elaborate coming, like in the days coming when I can get a full grasp on everything. But it was something that I felt like God had put in front of my face for me to learn, because it will help, but it's just something that I'm not as confident in when it comes to articulating what I'm supposed to be articulating to these courts and these arbitrators. So I amended my complaint. I wound up adding this, and now I realize everything that happens for a reason, because God is going to use anything bad or good for the good of those who love him, and Lord knows I love him. And the reason why I say that is because even though my amended complaint really had, like, it kind of just was supposed to sharpen my ideas, or my previous claims, but then I was led to add that UCC code. So the UCC code I added, I will put on the screen because I don't remember off the top of my head, but the code basically says that this company did not act in a manner that was commercially reasonable. And so once I have amended that complaint, you can do basically what is called a motion for a summary judgment in arbitration, but it's equivalent to a motion to dismiss. So they basically try to dismiss the case, basically saying I did not have any no real claims. I never stated a claim, this and the third. So they probably thought, oh, we got this in a bag. Like, this is gonna get dismissed, because these type of cases get dismissed all the time because people don't really know what they're doing, especially when they're pro se. So, and mind y'all, I only been doing this whole credit stuff since 2024. So that's how you know it's God. Because how? Anyway, let me tell you. So they submit their motion to dismiss. She gives me a chance to reply. I replied. She ultimately rules in their favor, but in mine too. So for them, it was dismiss all my claims, but for me, but one. So the one that stood was the UCC one. And remember, y'all, I had to amend my complaint, and I just put that in there. So if I had used my first complaint, it would have got dismissed, and that would have been it. So that's how I know it's God. So then they acted emotional, because the same day that she submitted that order was the same day they submitted a motion for reconsideration. If you know one thing or two about these courts, you know you're not supposed to be emotional. And certain things that you do can kind of show your hand on whether you acted emotional or not. And for them to be a company and be in business, that was very emotional, because they did not want to continue to move forward with this, because they already knew what my hand was, because I showed it to them when I put it in my complaint, which clearly shows she don't really know what she's talking about, because it was not well put together. It wasn't well put together. But that's the thing. God always uses the underdog. Like God always uses the underdog, yo. And I'm talking, this is from a position of faith. I have not even went yet. I just filed my I just did my step 2. It's 3 steps to this, but I just did my step 2. Well, 3 to 4 steps. I'm not even at the point where we about to go back to court. And I already can feel it. I can feel it. I just like keep going. So same day that she submitted her order, they submitted a motion for reconsideration, basically saying that, well, she can't get no relief from this because this thing never happened. And I'm like, there's some documentation that said it happened. Documentation that was sent from y'all. So she gives me a chance to reply. Well, she gave me a chance to reply. I replied and I said, well, they're contradicting themselves, because they sent me a letter last year stating the very opposite, that this thing did happen, and that they received proceeds from it. So if you receive proceeds and I haven't received anything, I'm unjustly enriched. Like that's unjust enrichment, because that would mean that y'all got a double payment and I got nothing. Unjust enrichment. Okay. So she was like, okay, so since I challenged it and clearly had a document that they submitted, or that they sent to me, she told them, submit an affidavit with the person who has personal knowledge of what happened to this item or what will happen to this item. So I think the reason why they didn't submit something that said what will happen to it is because what they did, but they did that, it was vague. Like they didn't really go into detail, because obviously you would have to stick to that. So like if you said, oh, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and you didn't do it, then it still supports my method of, or my point of not being like a manner wasn't reasonable. But they answered it just in more of like I said, a generic way, or vague, something that was vague, like, oh yeah, this will happen. No time frames, no nothing. They ain't sent me no updates, no nothing, y'all, nothing. You hear me? They have my stuff, but obviously they're gonna drag their feet because they feel like they won and the game is over. Now, baby, we back on the board. So going forward, she was like, she told them submit an affidavit, which an affidavit of truth is basically just what you are saying under oath that all these things is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge. And when you have somebody like that, again, it has to be personal knowledge. So the person with personal knowledge with their company has to be somebody at a high level. It can't be somebody at a low level that just like generate the documents. Like it can't be them. It got to be somebody with high level experience of what's happening or what had happened. So they basically stood 10 toes down for the company and said this thing did not happen. Therefore, there should be no relief, because until this thing happens, there's no dollar amount. Like, which I'm like, it is a dollar amount because you receive money, but okay. So she ruled on it and she dismissed the case. She dismissed the case on the strength of the affidavit having well, the affidavit having more say or more rank than a generated document. Now, she didn't say generated document, but I'm looking at it as that. But here's my thing too, and this is one of my ways I would put it. I would craft this is even though this document is generated, there is steps that has to be triggered prior to, or there are steps that has to be done to even trigger this step. Which is probably what I should have said back then, but y'all was so overwhelmed. It was crazy. Because I knew I was getting flustered because I knew I didn't know what I was talking about in total. Like, you know, my confidence level was low. But anyway, so I could have used that way. Like, there is still, like, things that has to be triggered. So even if this was a generated document, something triggered it. And the only thing that could trigger it is this. But I didn't use that, so I can use that going forward when I bring this case back up, right? She dismissed it on the basis that that affidavit holds more weight than the document that they sent me. Therefore, because, you know, if I'm taking this affidavit at face value, then technically there is no relief. But a win for me as far as when this thing happens, because it has to happen, then you can bring this back up to me and we can revisit this conversation. Is essentially what her ruling was. So I felt defeated, and y'all, this is how the enemy worked. Because even when I felt defeated, y'all, I had received a whole nother, like from my two cases that I had started off with, I jumped off the porch, one in federal and one in arbitration. The one in federal actually has submitted something the same week. So that's how you know it's the enemy, because he'll try you. Like he gonna put the pressure on you so you can give up. But he had I wind up getting an email from the case in the federal. It was in the appeal, and I just read the first sentence, and I read it wrong, y'all. I read it wrong. I thought basically that case was dismissed too, and it wasn't. That case actually was in my favor, and we could go ahead and move forward with the appeal. But I read it as if they had denied me. So I just got, y'all, I was down that day, like, I gave up. I was like, Lord, you know, because then, you know, when there's something, you know, because the stakes is high. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm still trying at the end of the day. And that's all God wants for us in life. He wants us to try to do right. Try to be holy. That's it. Just try. And as you're trying, I'm going to work and refine you. Work and refine you. Work and refine you. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. So, so I felt the way I was down in my feelings. Y'all, I had to wait till the next day, because the next day was when I was able to read that email again and realize that actually wrote in my favor. Like, so see, he be trying you, and then if you give in emotionally, which I did at that point, I could have just stopped everything and be like, I'm not doing this no more, and then just let everything fall. But I didn't, because we do not operate in fear. We don't operate in fear. And God is not that God of confusion. There was no confusion there, but he was trying to, you know, trip me up. So, case got dismissed. So I go back to my original credit reporting, going after debt collectors. So I'm getting my little, you know, resources and this, that, and the third. I'm crafting like a guide and stuff on what I'm gonna do each time, and then eventually, you know, using this to help other people. And then I used this strategy, and I said, I think the strategy can work on them. And the reason why I knew that the strategy could work on them is because no matter who the furnisher is, no matter who it is, whether they're original creditor or debt collector, they have to abide by the FCRA. They have to submit that stuff they have to report stuff that is accurate. And there is a right to action under a consumer law, I think it's 15 USC 1681 S-2B, that says that you have to make sure that you provide maximum accuracy. And if a consumer disputes, then you have to investigate it. And if they ask for a method of verification, you have to send that method of verification. And I didn't get anything. And I'm going to tell you why I didn't get it, though. Because they know if they provide it to me, y'all, they're going to be cooked. Which they cooked anyway. But I'm just saying, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, so I'm going to use what I know about credit reporting, and I think I could use it with them. So I'm like, all right, bet. So first step is to dispute with the CRAs, which are credit reporting agencies. That's what TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian is. They are not credit bureaus. That's just what they call themselves. The only credit bureau, according to consumer law, is the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The other ones is CRAs, and that's why they can also be sued, and they have to abide by the FCRA rules too, right? And if you see, like, in the fine print and stuff like that, you'll be able to, like, determine that. But anyway, it's just anybody who is holding any type of, you know, report on you, and that's what they do. obviously. Like, so, so I submit with them because I submit my dispute with them because they are reporting the amount that would point to my position that they received proceeds. So I'm like, well, since y'all submitted an affidavit under oath saying that this did not happen, y'all never received proceeds for it, then explain why the same dollar amount that you, from the calculation, notice that you sent me matches up. So which one is the lie? The affidavit or the credit reporting, right? But either one, there's damages there. And this is why it's so important to move with clarity. Because if I would have gave up, I would have just gave up. I would have never even made it to this point. But once I received clarity and just started doing something else, God revealed that I can do it this way and still get them. Like, now we're back in the game. It's not over. It's not over to the fact that he's saying. So, whole time I'm thinking it's over. It's not. So, I dispute with the CRAs. They verify it. Now, the process is supposed to be you dispute with the CRAs. They send it to the furnisher. The furnisher is supposed to do whatever they do and then send it back verified or not. And if you request certain documentation, which I did, your method of verification, they never sent me that. So now when I go to escalate it with the CFPB to show, hey, I did ask for this already and they never sent it to me, because they're going to put their foot further up they behind with whatever answer that they answer. They just got to figure out what is the lesser blow, right? When they verified it, let me tell you where another contradiction came from. So the dollar amount that I said that they said they received from a document that they sent me, that they have to send me, now correlates to a dollar amount that was not there on my report prior to the dispute. Which means because y'all put this same exact dollar amount on my credit report, the same exact, I mean, there's no coincidence that the same dollar amount that's on the notice that y'all sent me is now on my credit report after dispute. That means somebody reviewed this credit report when y'all investigated. That's not something that just auto-generates. And if it did, that number had to be in a database saying that that was received as proceeds for the computer to add it there. Let's just be real. But if we speaking on it, then again, there's no way that the same dollar amount, it's not a made up dollar amount, it's the same dollar amount that generated the first time to my document that I used to say that y'all was lying, now is reporting my credit report after I dispute for a reinvestigation. I thought y'all was cute when y'all lied the first time. I don't go away easy. So then they was like, so then I was like, okay, cool. So I disputed with them. They came back and they verified it. And then they added that, which was, again, how does that number come up at the same time? Because it correlates with the same document. So again, anybody can look at that and be like, okay. So the only way to prove would be, let's see the books. And that was my whole point. My whole agenda was to get the books open to show they received proceeds for something that I never received, or not that I didn't receive, but they received something on their end within this contract, and I never received nothing on my end. Therefore, that's unjust enrichment. When you have a contract, it's a mutual agreement of terms. Y'all got what y'all needed on y'all terms, but I didn't get what I needed on my terms. Tell me how that sound right. And if the books can be opened, then it will further prove my point. And that's all I wanted in the beginning. I want the books open, because at that point, I feel like that's going to force your hand to sew. So I'm going to tell you why this is, because when I submitted it, I used their sworn affidavit. I used the screenshots of what was reporting, and I used my letter showing them the inaccuracies and what codes they were violating. They came back, they verified it. Step 2 was to file a CFPB complaint. So now CFPB complaint, they have 15 days to respond, because this is obviously consumer protection for the actual consumer. And so they have 15 days to respond, but it's not somebody that's just random. It's not a low-level person. It has to be a high-level person. Most of the time, it's a person from escalations that's going to say, well, this, that, and the third happened. But again, now at this point, it's your word against your own word, like your company against your company's word, because this is what they submitted in this case. And this is, all the information is in there. Y'all saying that this person works for y'all company. Y'all saying this person works for y'all company. This is supposed to be sworn under oath. You don't just write an affidavit after arbitrator tell you to that that's a lie. Because if you get caught in that lie, what do you think is going to happen? Now y'all look now y'all don't look credible. So not looking credible could potentially, when this case is reopened, because this case will be reopened, potentially put y'all in a place where now I can request for further discovery, and I don't think that's unreasonable, and I don't see the arbitrator saying no, because once I show you the contradictions that y'all did on your own, she can't trust your word no more. She can't trust the affidavit from y'all. Y'all already lied the first time. So the only thing you can do is show the proof that's in the pudding, which would be in the books, because I'm talking numbers, which would then hurt them. So it's two ways this can happen. They can either verify that the dollar amount is true on my credit report. If that is the case, then that will debunk their affidavit under oath. If they take that route, I'm going to reopen that case saying, well, when I challenged the dollar amount, they came back and said the dollar amount is true, which means they lied in their oath because they said nothing ever happened. And for something that never happened, this dollar amount would not be this. It would actually be this dollar amount, which shows I was correct the first time. And then I would ask again for a limited tailored proof of their method of verification. And again, I'm talking numbers. So now you have to pull out your full accounting of my account. Okay. Which would expose them the way that I needed to expose them in the first place. And this is why God is so good, because even though the method that I was trying to use that I did not know of, that I was totally confused of, that method wasn't working. But God, glory be to God, God uses everything that is meant, anything that is meant to harm us, he's going to use for the good of those who love the Lord. And that's exactly what he did, because even though that method did not work, because I didn't really know what I was talking about, and God is essentially giving me more time to learn, he still is allowing me to fight this case where I still have more leverage than what they have. Because right now they think they lost, or they think they won. But now I'm putting you even more in a bind, because no matter what you do, you're going to have to lie. You got to figure out which lie is going to take the lesser blow. Because if you admit to lying under oath, I can reopen that. But then if you admit to saying, okay, well, this is not the correct dollar amount, let me update it, I still can use that and say, well, for these amount of months you've been reporting this dollar amount, that has damaged my credit, because now it looks like X, Y, and Z. And credit reports are used to show credit worthiness, is it not? And if I can prove that, I still can get money. And then since you say that this item, nothing happened with this item, that means I should still be able to obtain this item up until the date that this item goes, right? So, or this item is disposed of. So if that's the case, no matter what the dollar amount is, you would have to come up with that dollar amount, and you would have to prove it to me, because now I don't trust y'all. You would have to approve it to me. And then from the money that I get from y'all from the first case, I can use to stop disposition of this item. But remember, I'm only saying that because they said that the item was not disposed of. But remember, they're lying. So that means if I paid them this dollar amount, they would have to provide me with said item. So that's one way, right? But if they say, well, because even if they're like, oh, this was an error with the credit reporting, okay, you still have to, it is still the furnisher's responsibility to provide accurate information. So now if there was an error, then show what your method of verification was, because you have to have one to be able to determine how did y'all verify this, which means if you can't provide one, that means y'all never completed a reinvestigation, which is another violation. Like, either way we got violation. You get a violation, you get a violation, you get a violation. It's basically that. Like, that's essentially what it is. Okay, cool. So, but then the other method would be, because see, if you cannot verify something, you have to delete it. But they trying to be funny, still verifying it, and that's why they added that dollar amount that matches my document. Either way you slice out, I could still take that and use that as proof. But then, like I said, they could still try to be like, oh, well, that was an error. But whatever. Now, if they say, well, this dollar amount is not the correct one, and they put the right dollar amount, well, then again, I can still, now, if they put the dollar amount I'm saying, then that corroborates the affidavit. But now I want the method of verification, because now you're throwing numbers out of here. You're saying in the affidavit nothing ever happened. You never received proceeds. I have a document say that you did receive proceeds, and now you're saying, oh well, you've been reported for, I don't know, 8 months that you did receive proceeds. After I disputed, then you put the dollar amount of proceeds that matched the actual document that I have, and then now y'all saying that all of that was incorrect. Well, now I want y'all method of verification, which again, what are we talking about when we say the method of verification? Money, accounting. How was this accounted? So either way, the can of worms that I've been trying to open from the jump of last year has to still be opened. And this is why God is so good, because he has them stuck between a rock and a hard place, because you have to lie. There's a lie at every angle that you take this. And then if they decided that they wanted to settle, well, my dollar amount's not going to be low no more. I mean, I said that it was low before, but it's not just going to be simple, oh, you were reporting the wrong information. No. And if you don't go with my dollar amount, then guess what? We're going to arbitration. And I'm requesting the same arbitrator, because just 2 months ago, she just ruled on this in y'all favor, to come back and realize there were contradictions. Which at that point, I would request a tailored, even more tailored discovery to show, well, now they have to prove the accounting, because according to all these contradictions, I don't know what's true and what's false. I don't think that's unreasonable. And I don't think she would deny that, because she would see the proof is in the pudding. Well, she challenged you the first time. Y'all said this. She challenged you the first time. I asked for an affidavit. Y'all submitted this as sworn. Now this is no longer credible. So now we got to continue with the case, which the case would have been continued had y'all not submitted that affidavit. But if y'all are stating that this is truth and this is not credible, I can't trust your word for it. Now I think, accounting is reasonable in this instance, because there's too many shots against you for me not to be able to see them. And this is why you can't mess with the underdog. This is why you can't mess with the underdog. And this is why God uses people who continue to keep stepping forward. Not the people who give up. Not the people who already got it. Not the people who know it all. People who are willing to be challenged. People who are willing to learn and willing to keep fighting and willing to have faith in him. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I ain't got nothing but faith. I ain't got nothing else but faith. That's all I got. Because I don't even know what I'm doing, in a sense of, I don't know every avenue. I just know I'm supposed to be going, and I haven't stopped. I stalled a little bit, but I haven't stopped. And this is why can't nobody tell me God not real. Because even though everything looked like it was a losing chance, like it was done, he revamped it. They hit me with an Uno reverse. I'm hitting it with a draw 4 and an Uno reverse. Now let's go. Yo, this is so crazy. It's so crazy, because now I'm back in the game, and I'm like, yo, I know I wasn't tripping, and I know I'm not lying, and I operate on truth. It is no sense of me lying. I'm using the documents that y'all sent me. But once that arbitrator ruled in their favor, but still, I still took it on the chin, because I'm like, well, she still did say I can come back. Oh, baby, I'm back. I'm coming. Yo, we either going to go Avenue 1, Avenue 2, and it's not even going to be that. Actually, I'm going to bring it to Avenue. I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to bring more charges or more claims, because now my claims is not going to be the frivolous ones that there's no precedence for it. My claims are going to be the ones that there is precedence for, where y'all are not reporting accurate information, and now y'all information that y'all are reporting now contradicts your own sworn affidavit, and on top of it contradicting that, whatever, depending on what they say in the CFPB complaint, would further twist their arm behind their back, which would further help me gain the leverage. And if they ain't know by now or can't tell by now, I don't stop. And then when I bring it back to the arbitration, I'm now going to add another third party that I essentially added the first time, but I wasn't sure if they was the third party or not, because I couldn't confirm. But in their actual sworn affidavit, they confirmed it. So now I'm gonna bring y'all too, and bring claims against y'all. And if I can convince the arbitrator that the third party could be considered a debt collector. Oh, baby, now you have to apply with New Jersey statute. Now we got New Jersey statute that you need to have a surety bond of $5,000. And let me tell you something. The third party is a ran down company. Ran down company. That's all I'm gonna say. So I really doubt, because I couldn't even find them in a business search, on a simple business search in New Jersey. I couldn't even find them. So I doubt that y'all have, or no, did I find them? I think I did, but I don't know. I doubt that they have I doubt that they would have a surety bond, only because I don't think they, they probably haven't been challenged in the way of actually be considered a debt collector. AB, God is so good. That's all I can say, y'all. I cannot credit nobody else but God. God and the Holy Spirit. Well, the Holy Spirit, God too, but the Holy Spirit is here to guide us. And as long as you keep getting up and keep pushing forward, God will continue to walk on the side of you, really ahead of you. He walks ahead of you. God already knows what's going to happen. I just don't. And that made me uneasy. But the trust that I have in Jesus, the trust that I have is what is continuing to, is what is having me actually continue to go forward. Because one, God has already proven, which I don't need. I mean, he don't need to prove nothing, but God already proven to me that he is real, that he has done things that I can't explain already. So it's not that I don't believe that he's real. It's just low key, I was scared, because I'm like, all right, God, this is heavy stakes. But when you look at, see, that's me thinking with my own mind. It's heavy stakes, but when we talking about God, who we talking about? Who we talking about? We're talking about God. So he is heavy stakes. Like, he is the stakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. He is the stakes. Nothing is higher than him. So, like, these people that's lying and coming up against me, it's nothing. It's nothing for God. And he know that I'm telling the truth. Thank you, Jesus. Like, yo, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So even though I thought I was counted out, yo, I'm not counted out. I'm not counted out. And God will redeem me. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Y'all hear me? I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that wholeheartedly. Can't nobody tell me God not redeeming me. Because the method that I was using with this credit reporting, I wasn't even thinking of it even connecting at first to them. Like, when I thought, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can just get them on that and then get some money off of them. Still, I wasn't connecting it to, it's going to contradict them further in the first case, which I can then bring back up because the arbitrator already said it. And then I'm bringing more claims against them. On top of, let's add another party and another party. Spend that money, spend some more money, baby. And they foot the bill. They foot the bill for arbitration, not me. All I'm doing is defending. And as long as I got God by my side, it's no losing. It's no losing. It's crazy. It's crazy. If y'all can see what's running through my head right now, y'all will see what I'm seeing. But anyway, y'all, that's my case with this arbitration. I thought it was over, but it's not. It's not over. God is not done with me yet. And I just gotta stay grounded, stay rooted, and keep going. Stay grounded, stay rooted, and keep going. I thank God for wisdom, though, for real, because y'all. Anyway, if y'all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be uploading reels for live updates, so y'all might want to subscribe to the channel because it's about to get juicy. I promise you, it's about to get juicy. I'm already in a case with the debt collector right now, with the same method that I'm gonna come after this company with. So I'm already getting my feet wet with my method to see how everything plays out. Y'all, some stuff you just gotta wait on. Sometimes it's really good. Like, what is it? Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race, and that is not a lie, because that's exactly how it's been. We already been a whole year because of the way everything was just being pushed back. And then the arbitrator was taking just long. She was taking so long when it came to ruling on that last motion. So I thought, but it's not over. That's the thing, it's not over. And that's exactly how I'm looking at it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if y'all like this video. And stick around, man, because when I tell you your girl got more coming, your girl got more coming. Thank you for watching.